In 2011, on the Greek island of Kefalonia, a bizarre news story emerged. A resident found their pet cat had killed a four-lined snake in their garden. What was unusual wasn't the dead snake, but another snake slowly crawling out from its mouth. This scene shocked not just the homeowner, but also sparked discussions among scholars. The curator of the Manchester Museum commented that it is rare for smaller snakes to escape from larger ones through their mouths. He recalled a similar incident where a hunter shot a large snake and a smaller one escaped through the wound on its belly. However, escaping through the mouth is even rarer because snakes usually start eating prey from the head. The curator explained that turning around inside the stomach would be difficult for a small snake. But since this was a small snake, it might have been swallowed tail. First, more importantly, the smaller snake must have just been swallowed recently to survive the digestive juices of the larger one. So thanks to the cat, we got to see this rare scene. But that wasn't today's main story. In Florida, researchers found something even stranger in snakes' mouths. Early 2000s, Florida is warm and humid with diverse habitats, making it ideal for snakes. With over 50 species of snakes, you often find dead ones on suburban roads or highways. Researchers examining these snakes noticed a mysterious creature moving like a tongue in the snake's mouth. At first they thought it was another small snake being swallowed by a larger one, but closer inspection revealed it was a white worm-like creature with a head resembling that of a snake. These creatures sometimes appear after the host snake dies, wriggling like tongues, hence their name snake-shaped worms. Many people might think these are common parasites, like roundworms or hookworms. Initially, scholars classified them as worms due to their appearance and parasitic nature. However, upon closer examination of their segmented bodies and head structures with paired hooks for attachment, they realized these characteristics set them apart from typical worms. This led to a long debate about their classification. Some researchers considered them transitional species between annelids, segmented worms, and arthropods, joint-legged invertebrates. But further analysis by scientists like Belgian paleontologist Pierre Joseph and Swedish zoologist Carl Gale Winston revealed many arthropod features, such as jointed hooks and a segmented exoskeleton. They also mold to grow. Modern molecular biology studies confirm they are crustaceans, highly specialized parasites that have lost the ability for independent living. Their closest relatives might be fish lice, not worms despite their appearance. But it is not just their classification that is bizarre. The snake-shaped worms found in Florida are a species called Rhinithiala orientalis, native to Southeast Asia and South Asia. How did they get to America? In the 1970s, Burmese pythons were introduced as popular pets due to their large size. But soon, many owners realized these snakes had huge appetites and rapid growth rates, making them unsuitable for homes. Many were released into the wild. Then in 1992, Hurricane Andrew devastated South Florida, destroying zoos and reptile breeding farms, releasing hundreds of Burmese pythons into the wild. These snakes became a common sight on roads and beaches, even swallowing pets like cats over time. These escaped pythons found their home in the southern Everglades, a 500-year-old subtropical wetland system with vast areas and over 1,400 native species. The climate there is similar to Southeast Asian swamps, where Burmese pythons originate, making it ideal for them. Soon enough, these snakes thrived, leading to various ecological impacts. The numbers of rabbits, deer, raccoons, and birds have noticeably declined in some areas. Even without natural predators, large Burmese pythons have been recorded preying on alligators. Clearly, the Burmese python has become the apex predator in this ecosystem. Despite human efforts to remove them from the swamp, their camouflage abilities make it easy for them to blend into murky freshwater and dense marsh grasses. With annual egg-laying rates of 50 to 100 units, experts now believe removing Burmese pythons is nearly impossible. But there is an even bigger surprise. These invasive snakes are not the only threat. Inside their bodies, researchers found parasitic nematodes from Southeast Asia. When dissecting captured pythons, they discovered these parasites in the lungs of the snakes. Unlike humans, whose respiratory system branches into smaller airways, A snake's breathing system is more direct, with one large central cavity leading to the lungs. This makes it difficult for them to expel foreign objects from their lungs. The parasitic nematodes can settle comfortably within the snake's lungs and even gain some protection there. Infected Burmese pythons eventually excrete soft feces containing parasite eggs, attracting insects that may be eaten by other reptiles like lizards or geckos. These intermediate hosts then become part of the life cycle for these nematodes. However, why haven't the numbers of Burmese pythons been affected? Nematodes have existed for about 400 million years and are well adapted to snakes. They primarily affect the respiratory system of snakes and lizards. Over time, Burmese pythons and many other Southeast Asian and African snake species have developed immunity to these parasites, but this isn't true for native Florida snakes. In 2019, a case was documented where a water snake was found after being regurgitated by a larger black racer snake. The snake survived initial treatment but later died due to nematode infestation in its respiratory system. This suggests that these parasites are now spreading beyond the Burmese pythons and affecting native species. Invasive nematodes have been discovered in pygmy rattlesnakes, with some reaching sizes comparable to the diameter of their airways. The presence of larger nematodes could be causing blockages leading to suffocation and death. This unexpected development is alarming scientists who initially thought Burmese pythons would only disrupt local ecosystems but not cause such severe impacts on native snake populations. The snake mite that came to the US with Burmese pythons has had a much wider impact on the ecosystem than just the areas where the snakes invaded. They are constantly moving north, even though temperatures there aren't suitable for the mites. But as long as they can find hosts, they manage to survive. Getting rid of these mites might be harder than dealing with the pythons themselves because their parasitic behavior spans multiple species. It is not just Florida's 50 snake species that are worried, it's also all the intermediate hosts scattered across different ecosystems. Cutting off the cycle of parasite eggs is nearly impossible. Scientists, at a loss for solutions, suggest that local snakes might have to evolve resistance on their own. They believe that in time, more resistant snake populations will emerge and dominate the ecosystem. It could take decades or even centuries before we see a balance between Burmese pythons and these mites. But let's be optimistic. For now, American scientists are at a loss for how to handle this invasion of snake mites. And here, something that might surprise you. Humans can also get infected by these mites. Snake mite disease is zoonotic, with over 100 species identified globally and around 10 capable of infecting people. This distribution pattern is linked to cultural practices like consuming raw snake blood or meat in certain regions of Africa and China. Once the mites infect a snake, their eggs can spread through its blood, bile, or undercooked meat. When these eggs enter an accidental human host, they hatch in the intestines, penetrate the intestinal walls, and travel through the bloodstream to various organs. The immune system attacks them, leading to white hardened cysts forming throughout the body, commonly in abdominal organs like the liver, spleen, or peritoneum. They can also appear in lungs, chest cavities, or even eyes. These cysts are essentially temporary homes for the larvae waiting to be eaten by a snake. But if they end up in humans instead of snakes, their chances of being consumed and completing their life cycle drop dramatically. So these cysts become dead ends for them. Symptoms in humans can include abdominal pain, coughing, or fever. Many infected individuals show no symptoms until an X-ray or autopsy reveals the cysts. While most cases aren't severe, infections in the eye are particularly unfortunate because they often lead to permanent vision loss. About 2/3 of such cases result in blindness. The question on everyone's mind is whether these mites will emerge from your mouth if you are infected. The answer might disappoint. It's nearly impossible. Humans aren't their final hosts. Swallowing them turn them into snakes and they can survive or reproduce inside humans. In summary, while the mite does pose some scary symptoms in humans, the infection rate is low as a fatalities. What we should really worry about are the native snake species in invaded areas. This scenario might become more common in the future.